And away we go. Nightcap time. Here on Bearcat Journal, brought to you by our great friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone. Get everything Galactic. Delivery, carry out, stop in the store, get you a bottle of sauce. Aaron, joined as always by Aaron Smith. Ingredients may or may not be on order.
That's what you said yesterday, yeah.
May or may not be on order.
All right, let's go.
Shane's been hinting at it a little on his Facebook page.
Does that mean he found a recipe already?
No, we're gonna have to R&D. We're gonna
tinker. All right,
we have to tinker.
So not in bulk, just
yeah, just small.
Okay,
we got to figure it out first.
Sure.
We got to make sure they get the bread right. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right.
Yeah, I get you.
We're not gonna rush to production just to slap something willy-nilly on the menu. It's gonna have us behind it. It's gonna have our name on it. We're gonna make it right. So stay tuned. Details coming. But as always, make sure you're visiting galacticfriedchicken.com and get your fried chicken needs taken care of.
Are you
all right?
I was going to say, are you just filibustering with everything Galactic that you can before we have to discuss this game?
That's it. We have to do the show to make sure that we get the Galactic Fried Chicken plug-in. They paid for it. So I'm out. Just kidding. You sat through the ads. I guess we'll get to the information. South Florida 56, Cincinnati 54. It's
not a way you want to lose on senior night at the buzzer.
No, not like that. Not
to last place in the conference.
Yeah, it was frustrating throughout. There was nothing fun about any of that. It was at times really, really bad basketball by both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. Let's see if I'm right. That is South Florida's third conference win.
Yeah. Yep. But this is kind of what happens when you got a team that's in a funk and not playing well, and a team that doesn't have a lot of answers. For me, the lead here is pretty simple.
Yeah.
This is an offensively challenged team. We have talked about that for months and months and months. You have two players that you rely on to carry your offense. And those two players didn't have it tonight. David DeJulius, 2 of 10, 0 of 2 from 3, 7 points. Jeremiah Davenport, 2 of 9, 0 of 5 from 3, 7 points. 4 of 19 from the floor, 0 of 7 from 3, combined 14 points. This team's not good enough. If those two guys, if you don't have at least one of them, and especially when you don't have either of them playing well, you're in a position to lose to South Florida. Like that's, you play games in the 40s and 50s, and you can lose to anyone. And it stinks because it was a game that I thought defensively, for the most part, they played pretty well. That's also in part because South Florida is one of the most putrid offenses in the country. I'll give you that. But as bad as the defense has been, it was nice to see a game that the defense played pretty well. But look at it right there, Aaron. 32.8% from the floor, 20.8% from 3, 52.4% from the free throw line. It's damn near impossible to win
any games.
Yeah. You could play Moeller and you'd struggle if you played like that. Like, it's just, we knew the limitations of this team, and I know it's frustrating. I know everybody's frustrated. I get it. I'm not gonna rob you of that joy of being frustrated tonight. It is what it is. They played with fire. And they got burned against a bad team. And this one's a lot harder than, like, you say, like the Tulane loss.
Mm-hmm.
as it turned out, Tulane's pretty good. They're better than we thought they were going to be, right? Like everybody was mad at the Tulane loss because that's a team that's always at the bottom of the conference. Well, this year they're not. It's a pretty good team in retrospect. This is a bad South Florida team, man. What did we say last night? Can't lose this game. Can't lose it.
No, this one's not good for morale.
No, and especially with what's up next. At Houston, at SMU, and then go play the conference tournament. Like they're licking wounds in that locker room right now. There is no doubt about it.
I find it interesting as I'm looking at these stats here, and people have been clamoring for more minutes for Mace and more minutes for Mikey. And you see Mikey had 18 minutes and went 0 for 3, 0 for 1 from 3, 1 for 2 from the stripe.
I thought he passed it well tonight. He had 4 assists. He did have 2 turnovers, but they didn't feel like they were of the like the other night. It felt like it's just lazy against Temple. Like the turnovers were so, not just on Mikey, but his name is the one we're talking about.
Right. The
turnovers were lazy. I didn't feel like they only had 8 today.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was a lack of attention to detail. I thought they were dialed in pretty much for most of the game. Like they didn't make many mistakes. They were pretty good on the glass. But woof. You can't lose that game, Aaron. You can't lose that game. You can't lose that game. You can't lose that game. You can't lose that game.
I mean, I don't know.
I know. You can't lose that game.
It's ugly.
Find a way to win it.
You only had 4 steals. Yeah, I mean South Florida only turned the ball over 9 times. Like I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think that at this point we can say that this team is exhausted. They simply
they're out of gas.
Out of gas there's no other way to put it.
Not only out of gas, but they're just out of they're out of. We talked all year about, adjustments to adjustments to adjustments. They're out of adjustments. There's no adjustments left to be made. Change the starting lineup. What is that going to change? Explain to me, what is that going to change?
Well,
change the rotation, change the substitution patterns.
Well, we were talking
because you don't like them?
We were talking about it off air before we started recording. But John Newman was your best player tonight. 11 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, he was your best player tonight, and people are clamoring for more Mace. Are you going to take Newman off the floor? Not when he's your best player tonight.
Right. They basically split all of the minutes at the 3. Hensley played 2 minutes. Newman and Madsen played all of the other minutes. And Mace played well. But in 28 minutes, Newman was your leading scorer with 11 points. He was 5 of 9 from the floor. He hit a 3. He had 6 rebounds, was your leading rebounder. He had a steal that I think it turned into a layup. I mean,
who, Newman?
Yeah.
No, it turned into a foul.
That's right.
They fouled him on the fast break, which if
you're
playing NBA rules, that would have been a flagrant.
They grabbed his hip. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it should have been a flagrant. One. But it's stuff like that, right? Like on a night where it would have been nice to get Mace more minutes. If Dave's hitting shots and Jeremiah's hitting shots, you can sneak Mace a couple more minutes in there, right? But when Newman's the best player on the floor, taking him off the floor, like that's what people don't want, right? Quit taking out the players that are playing well. Like quit with this automatic substitution, automatic rotation. Okay, they did that. They played John Newman most of the minutes because he was playing better than anybody else on the team tonight. And as a result, unfortunately, it impacts Mason in a game where he shot it well. You could have used an extra 3 in there somewhere, probably.
The crazy thing is we've been clamoring for a John Newman game like this, but this is where you want him to be the 3rd best player on the team.
Right. would be a perfect John Newman was the third best player game.
Absolutely. And then if he's doing 11 and 8 as the third best player, you're scoring 70, 80 points.
Yeah. And you win this game comfortably. But that wasn't how it went. Wasn't how it went. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of you get the fan perspective. Like what do you have to say? I don't have much else to say.
I mean, I kind of already hit the fan perspective as far as like what I've seen on Twitter thus far is just, I guess the G version. I'm not going into everyone talking about how much this team makes them want to puke or anything like that. But I don't know. That's not. I try and take it all with a grain of salt. Again, I mean, we've talked about till we're blue in the face. This is Wes Miller's first year. These aren't his guys necessarily. I mean, some of them are, some of them aren't. But you're talking about UNCG guys. You're talking about some of the leftovers from Cincinnati that he recruited to stay. And it's his first year in the system. He had a lot of bandages on some holes that you just couldn't plug.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's not much else to say about this team. Like, we're a middling team. We're closer to the bottom of the pack than we are to the top of the pack. And these next 3 games, 2 games plus tournament play, aren't going to be fun.
And then the staff gets to start getting to work fixing it.
Yeah. I mean, there is a chance that East Carolina could pass Cincinnati in the next couple days to make Cincinnati a what? 4, 6, 7, 8 seed?
8, yeah. You want to stay 7 if at all possible, but it ain't looking great because 7 at least you would drop down with SMU and Tulane. I think if you go up in the top of the bracket, that's going to be populated by Memphis, by Houston, by let's see, 1, 2, 3. Who's 4 and 5?
Here, I'll just share it. There you go.
Well, I don't know. There's one will be up top. SMU and Memphis would be down at the bottom. Then Tulane, Temple. Okay.
You haven't been good against any of those teams though.
No,
so
that's where the problem lies. Is you've beaten SMU out of those teams. That's the only team you've beaten that's above Cincinnati. 1 win against SMU.
Weeks ago.
A month plus ago.
Like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. He's going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat to get these guys on track here down the stretch.
I don't know how. I mean, I don't know
either. I don't either.
I don't know how the hell you're going to sneak up on anybody. I don't think.
Well, they could sneak up on people now. Everybody thinks they stink.
I don't know.
Nobody's taking him as a juggernaut right now, right?
This is not going to be a fun week to talk about.
Spring football, Saturday, March 5th.
Yeah, that's still entirely too far away. We still have to get through 2 more basketball games, 2 more podcasts, and what, 5 more nightcaps.
Yeah, we do.
Before we get to talk about anything.
Yeah, well, Saturday night we'll get to talk about spring football.
I guess the good news for you is you don't have to do any radio this week, right?
No, I don't. Mo's back. Thank goodness.
I was just hoping that Lance didn't hit you with like the back-to-back vacation.
No, because then Mo would have been in for Lance, and then I would have been back in for Mo. I used all the gas in the tank to get to the finish line this week.
I saw. I mean, you were outsourcing on Twitter. You were doing everything you could to find anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's nothing left to say here tonight.
No, there's not.
Not
Everybody
without giving up anything that we potentially have left in the chamber for this week.
I appreciate you all for tuning in. Player of the game, John Newman.
Easy.
Yeah, the lead. You're not winning with 14 points on 4 of 19 shooting combined. for Davenport and DeJulius. Is what it is.
Cannot win with both of them being single digits.
No, I am. I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm taking the wife shopping, spoiling her. Her birthday is next week, but it is spring football next weekend, and we've got spring football on her birthday on the 7th on that Monday. So tomorrow is Spoil Kelly Day, because if anybody deserves to be spoiled for a day, it's Kelly. She's tried to die a couple times, and she puts up with me every day,
which would make one want to die at times.
Yeah, right. At times, most of the times.
Instead of at times.
So if you don't see me tomorrow, I'm not ignoring you. It's just that we've had this planned for a while. I got the mother-in-law got tossed into the picture today. The mother-in-law is coming along too. Be a good day for Chad. Maybe I'd rather be on the internet talking about South Florida.
Huh.
I'm kidding. I love my mother-in-law. She's great.
You have to say that.
Mm-hmm. I do.
All right. That'll wrap it up.
Yeah. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. We'll see you next time, which would be Monday night. It's the nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.